What is up, everybody? We have 10 minutes with our good friends Rob and Joe from over at the product development team. We're going to talk all about a new member of our optics family. The Reticle family has grown a little bit, guys.
Yes, we've added another low power variable to the product family. This time, it's another 1-8, but not a second focal plane 1-8. This is a first focal plane 1-8 Reticle.
Yep, exactly. I mean, you nailed it on the head. I think this has been one folks have been hoping for, anxiously awaiting. Like you said, it is a 1-8x24 first focal plane, new reticle.
New reticle,
yep.
The EBR8.
That is correct. EBR8 MOA.
Let's talk a little bit about the EBR8 MOA. What do we got going on there?
So for this reticle, we really took a step back and we wanted to focus on just bringing the eyeball to the center aiming point. And so we did some things there while also taking account of the fact that people really like the ARBDC3. So it's a familiar looking reticle with features that a lot of people will recognize and really like. But we just did a couple little things to really enhance the close range capability of the reticle.
Yeah. Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, we're looking at, like a lot of first focal plane, low power variable optics. You've got almost like red dot sight functionality with the illumination engaged on the low end. Mm-hmm. And then as you go up in magnification, you can engage those targets at extended ranges.
Yeah.
And then also do so accurately and fast with the subtension graduations in there. So if I remember correctly, you've got references out to 600 yards?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Very cool. And it's we came out with the Razor 1-10, and that was our first. Well, not our first focal plane scope. I guess the original Razor was the Gen 1 Razor 1-4, was it?
So in the LPVO, we way back in the day, we had a first focal plane 1-4 Gen 1 Razor that was kind of the the brother optic to the 5-20.
Right.
550. Yeah.
So with the recent, I guess, 1-10 Gen 3, we've got that really, really bright center reticle illumination. And this doesn't have the same reticle illumination technology. It's also a completely different price point than the Razor. Mm-hmm. So some of the things Joe was mentioning, we did change some of the kind of the heavy stadias to draw your eye more to the center to aid in shooting at low magnification if maybe it's a really bright scene or something like that. And I think Joe was one of the main designers of the reticle and did a really nice job with that, and it's very effective in both closer targets and medium and longer range targets for the kind of the AR platform or whatever else you might want to put it on.
Yep. Yeah, and you brought up price, Rob. This thing's going to retail for, approximately, give or take, $599.
Yeah, that's right. So just a touch cheaper than the Gen 3 Razor 1-10,
yes.
And still a heck of a scope. I mean, it slots in really nice with the second focal plane 1-6, 1-8 Reticle. Optically, I'd say it's a notch up from those ones, and it's probably knocking right on the door of the PST 1-6.
Yeah, I know when I looked through it, I was impressed. I was like, $599. Like, had you, not knowing the price beforehand, I would have assumed, just with the clarity and, resolution with my, with me looking through it, I was like, man, that's pretty impressive. Like, it's a nice piece of glass.
Yeah, we're really pleased with how it turned out. Again, we wanted to take lessons that we learned on the Gen 3 Razor 1-10 and kind of apply that to a more budget-friendly, low-power variable, first focal plane low-power variable optics. So I think what you'll find is, the field of view at 1 power, that eye box at 1 power is really, really nice. It's a really wide field of view, really flat, really sharp. So at 1 power, it is similar to what you said earlier, kind of like using a red dot. It's almost like the scope disappears, but then you have the ability to go up in magnification up to 8 power and have those holdovers and those reference points in the reticle be accurate, regardless at what magnification you're at. Another feature in that reticle is we have a ranging feature, so you can range and get kind of a rough idea of how far your target might be away. Depending on what the target is that you're using as reference. So that's gotcha. At the top of the 12 o'clock position, I believe.
Correct. Yeah, it's the same ranging feature that we have in our 1-10 EBR9 MOA.
Okay.
So it's going to be 40 inches from the bottom to whatever subtension is referenced, and then 18 inches wide at that reference subtension. So 40 inches and 18 inches.
Yeah. So, and the nice thing, at any point throughout the zoom range, a person can use that reference and and kind of get that estimation there. So I like that. And if anybody, I think probably a lot of people are familiar with first focal plane reticles, but it never hurts to reiterate: a first focal plane reticle will appear to grow or shrink in direct proportion to magnification. So as you go up in magnification, it'll appear to get bigger. As you go down, it appears to get smaller, and that's what allows you to use those subtension markings or graduations at any point in the zoom range. So
that's
probably
right.
Probably redundant for a lot of folks out there. A lot of folks probably didn't need that. But what this thing comes with a few extras, which is nice. You don't have to buy them, after market or whatever. What do we got going in that department, Rob?
Yeah, so some of the accessories that come with it, pictured here is the throw lever. So with the second focal plane, Gen 2 Strike Eagles, I guess as we're calling them, we had a thread-in throw lever to the magnification ring, and we decided to go with a standalone throw lever on this one, so it's similar to what you'd see on the 5-25 Strike Eagle.
Okay.
And that was just based off of feedback that we got, and folks like the ability to take it on and off and just have it be a little bit more customizable in the position that you'd want to put it in, and then also just give it a little bit more robust of an installation than kind of the thread and post that's on the 1-6 and 1-8. In addition to that, you'll get some flip caps, not pictured here, but those come in the box as well. And I think we've got kind of a new tool system that we're going to that's got an integrated hex and kind of coin slot in it that also, if you have more than one of those, they can kind of nest together, so you can keep them kind of snap together. So you can keep them together in your bag, your range bag or whatever you're taking with. And then I think another kind of nice thing on this is we've got a new turret design. It's really just a more lightweight approach to the low-profile cap turret. This is another Joe special here. Did a really nice job on these. Has shaved out some weight. It's a little bit heavier, the scope is overall, than the second focal plane offerings in the Strike Eagle family, but we had to do some things on the glass side of things that added a little bit of weight in addition to giving us better optical quality. So,
are first focal plane optical systems inherently heavier by design, or is that just the way the optical system worked out?
It is just the way that this one happened to work out. It's one of those classic "it depends" answers, which we always like to throw around, especially one of our optical engineers, Christian. But yeah, on this one, that was one of the things that led to the heavier weight. So
gotcha. A lot of folks are using night vision these days, NV as we like to call it.
Yeah.
We touched on the illuminated reticle, but appears to be NV compatible on its lowest two settings.
Yeah, so you've got kind of two night vision settings here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but they're labeled NV1, NV2, and down at that brightness level, we tested that in-house here, and the illumination isn't so bright that it washes out the scene. For those that haven't used night vision with low power variables, there are some kind of extra steps that you have to take in order for that to be usable. It's mainly adjusting your rifle scope diopter, and then I think also your nods diopter a little bit as well to get that to work properly. But those lower two brightness settings are usable with night vision. So
I'm trying to look at my notes here. I see you guys brought a lot of notes as to. Jim never brings notes. I love notes, and I feel
Jim's a bit of a free spirit.
He is a free spirit. I'm going to spread my notes out so I can compete with yours there. Interesting enough, the Parallax set at
125 instead of 100. So
what's the reason behind that?
So do you want to talk to that, or you want me to?
You got it.
All right. So the thought with this on the first focal plane, in conjunction with the first focal plane optical design, was we found that there's a little bit of a break from the standard, I guess, of 100 that we have on the other low power variables. But what we found was there was really an improvement in optical quality at farther distances by just making that small change to the parallax setting, with really a negligible effect on close range parallax error.
Right.
So we played around with that, and I think it was through things that we learned just through the optical design, and we found we really got a lot better depth of field and a lot better resolution at farther distances. Again, because this is a fixed parallax scope, right? So where you would typically have an adjustable parallax, it's just the illumination dial. So it's fixed, and we decided to go with 125 on this one for those benefits, and really the benefits outweighed the drawbacks on the scope. So
yeah, I mean, I would assume, parallax, the way I understand it, it's really going to come into play at those extended ranges, almost like a moot point at those closer distances. So why not increase the overall overall optical performance of the scope, that just seems like a big win there.
Yep.
So.
And people might ask, well, why not make the parallax at 500 yards or whatever it ends up being? And we found that 125 was really kind of the best sweet spot of setting this particular scope for those long range benefits without having error. If we would have set it at 500, there would have been error at 300 or at 200. That would have been a little bit more pronounced. So 125 was kind of the Goldilocks spot that we were able to find for this one.
Awesome. Yes, definitely. I mean, LPVOs, I'd say, oftentimes thought of in, optimized for the AR platform, which I think they certainly are. Not limited to the AR platform, though. You can definitely, they're extremely versatile scope. I feel like we're seeing them a little bit more and more actually on ARs for hunting applications, and then on actually some other rifles as well, like bolt guns for, more close quarters type shooting. And hunting applications. Did we miss anything? Runs on a CR 2032.
Yep, 2032 on the side here. Cap windage and elevation, fast focus eyepiece. I think we hit all the high points here. Field of view is very similar at 8 power to our second focal plane 1-8. And it's actually wider than our 1/8 second focal plane at 1 power. So you have a little bit wider field of view and a little bit better kind of eye box essentially, or perception of that at 1 power compared to the second focal plane 1, and it's only $100 more. So depending on what you want to do with your build, you could save $100 and put it towards a better trigger, put it towards something else, or if you want the ability of shooting out a little bit farther and a little bit better glass, maybe spend the extra $100 on the optic. So I think you got a good solution either way, depending on what your priorities are. So
yeah, absolutely. Joe, anything to add?
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, nice work, by the way. You guys did a great job on this. I'm super pumped about it.
Thanks.
LPVOs, incredibly popular, incredibly versatile, incredibly functional.
Absolutely.
Definitely a solution, an optical solution that a lot of folks are gravitating towards. I'd say when they want, always hard to find that one, setup to do it all, but these come pretty darn close. They do a great job. We have a selection, everything from I guess what I consider like our entry point LPVOs to the Strike Eagle to the Razor HD Gen 3 1 to 10. So I'd say in the Vortex lineup, we've got a lot to look at. We've got one more to look at, and if you've been thinking about getting an LPVO, check them out. Go to your local retailer, do a little research online, and pick the one that's right for you, because I'd say we probably have one.
Yeah, you hope so. We want to do the best we can to provide awesome products at a whole bunch of different price points. Also, one last thing, good news is if you already have you already have a mount for this that's 30 millimeter for an existing Strike Eagle. This is also 30 millimeter, so you'll be able to reuse that. No problem. Just swap it out and you're good to go.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thanks everybody for listening. If you have any more questions on the Strike Eagle 1-8x24 first focal plane, let us know. If you have any other questions on LPVOs or anything else, let us know that as well. Hit us up in the comments. And until next time, happy hunting and shooting, everybody. Bye.